I'm Ryan Milton from Team Flex, and today we're going to look at Taiwan Pro Bikini Top 5. We're going to talk about our placings in Bikini Division, why they landed the way they did, and what ultimately it means for you as a bikini competitor out there trying to do your best on stage. 2025 season coming right up, rolling in hot. Let's look and see how this applies. Keep in mind, everything I talk about on this channel and in all of my videos is relevant for any of you out there. You may have never competed before. You might already be trying to get a pro card. You may have done 30 shows. You might already be a pro. I'm giving you the tools, the tips, the strategies, and the feedback, the things you need to know to do better on stage no matter your level. So subscribe, hang out. We got a lot more coming. And also, anytime you can do my free coaching trial. In fact, I suggest if you've watched any videos of mine and you've enjoyed it, go do this right now. Type it in on your phone, teamfflex.com/7-day trial, and you get to train with me free for 7 days. How exciting is that? Let's do it. All right, let's get down to it. We got our Taiwan Pro here, our top 5. And as we've been talking about with bikini, you know, it seems this year criteria fit model came along the road, as supposed to be this introductory division, and it has basically become that, which is great. But also it seems to have pulled criteria down for bikini and wellness in some ways, right? Like made it more, a diversion back away from some of the looks that were getting bigger and leaner and, more muscular. We continue to see that play out even at the pro stage right now, which is crazy, but it's great. It's a great time to be a bikini competitor. I'll tell you why. Let's get down to it. All right, so in first place, we have Yume here. We have Charlotte over here in second, and then we have Alum over here in third. And basically, this is our top 3 at this event, Taiwan Pro Bikini, and let's review it. Let's take a look at it. So overall, as we know, Bikini Division is always about the hourglass shape, and there is not going to be a single pro that you will find that does not exemplify that pretty freaking well. That's why they're a pro, folks. But there is also some clear differences in this top 3 and in the lineup, and what we'll see as we go that I think are worth noting absolutely as a competitor out there. So your hourglass shape as a bikini competitor is created by creating that shoulder fullness here, that upper body development, that roundness to the deltoids, the taper in at the waist, and then basically having the lower body glutes, quads, and hamstrings all match in symmetry. Generally in bikini, what I see, especially as a coach, is the most symmetrical athlete is going to be typically the one that's going to win, right? The most, full, shows the shape, has that right size. Boom, you're going to win, right? That's kind of how it works. So you really do want to focus on the muscle if you're a bikini competitor because it is key. You don't want to do too much because then you're going to look like figure, and you don't want to do too little because then you're going to look like fit model. But here at a pro event, we're going to expect, all these bikini competitors to pretty much be on par. So you may hear good shoulder shape overall. Her arms do balance really nicely. I don't talk a lot about the arms because Bikini Division, not about the arms, but sometimes athletes may have a little bit bigger arm structure, takes away from your shoulders, or it can just indicate your upper body looks too dominant. She does not have that. She has that shoulder shape that you would expect and want to see in this division. And she does also have a very narrow waist here. So that effect always, every single time, will create a dramatic V-tapered look that will have the judges being like, what's going on here? That's crazy. That's a physique that's going to win this class. So very narrow waist is your goal in bikini, and it's not from training abs and doing other crazy stuff. Don't be doing that. It's going to come down to, getting that size, getting that conditioning right, working on that, and then working the upper body to make that taper look even more dramatic. Now, lower body wise for her, overall glute structure, upper glute is there. That's fullness. Got to have that. That's what we should see, especially at pros level. And then looking overall glute, density is there for sure. That muscle mass coupled with hamstrings and quads that match. Her quad does look maybe just a tad overpowering here, but compared to the rest in this lineup, not really, right? So that's one of those areas that I would say she definitely exemplifies on. It's a lot of muscle on this frame, but most compact muscle on the frame, most symmetrical look out of this top 3, and let's talk about why. So as we look at Charlotte obviously, I think pretty much everybody watching can see a lot more muscle on her physique, right? She's definitely got bigger shoulders overall, bigger delts here. She's definitely a little bit wider in the waist, and overall her lower body is pretty freaking dominant too. A lot of glute shape, a lot of hamstrings, a lot of quads in general. So she's taking second here, but I think it's a pretty clear message that this is a very different look first to second, right? Very, very different look. So when you start to see that play out at the pro level, That again is a pretty clear message from judges saying like, hey, too much muscle. We don't want to see that much muscle. We don't, we're looking for a certain type of a look here, shape-wise, all this. And again, keep in mind, every pro show, all these events are going to go based on who's there that day, what the judges want to preference based on, who's at that judging table even. But realistically, I think that's a pretty clear marker that, bigger muscle, as we've seen in leaner athletes, moving down, not winning these events specifically. Looking over here at Alum, what we see, she's got good shoulder shape overall, tapers in at the waist well, lower body glute structure, and hamstrings and quads all in good symmetry. Her lower body, though, does look dominant. So her upper body is not, at the same level, not as much fullness, not as much size, makes the lower body look dominant. Not good for Bikini Division, so probably main factor for taking third. But we got to look from the back because that's what always tells the full story here. So we can see Yume, again, the most symmetrical on this stage for sure. Shoulders development is where it should be. Lower body does match quite well. Upper glute most developed and rounded out of this group. Shows that slight separation between glute, hamstring, tie, and what you should see. And her quads and her hamstrings do not overpower any of the glute or any other muscle group. So she's very symmetrical, very dialed in right there on condition, and thus very clear winner of this class. If we look over here, Charlotte, a lot of upper body density. We can see just more size in that upper body overall. Tapers in at the waist. Everything's good here. Not as much of the kind of 3D effect from the glutes, right? Not as much upper glute, overall glute development. Even though she has so much from the front, what ends up happening is the quads and the hamstrings do overpower that glute development a bit here. And that's, I think, again, a clear marker on top of being just maybe overall too much muscle in this grouping. Looking over here now at Alum, what we can see, good shape overall, tapers in well, everything's here. Lower body wise though, like I said, she's definitely clearly dominant in the quads and in the hamstrings and even the glutes compared to the upper body. So pretty, dominant lower body wise, also not really getting as much 3D effect from her glutes either. So maybe a little bit more of that development to pull through that tie in some more and just add a little bit more of that 3D perspective to the glute structure. By the way, if you're watching the video and you're confused, you're like, okay, I see what he's saying. How does this apply to me and my physique? Do my free trial, okay? Seriously, you have to do it. Pull up your phone right now. It's teamfflex.com/7-day free trial. Okay, it's pretty awesome experience where you get to go in, you can upload pictures, I can give you feedback on that. It's the same exact training platform I use for all my competitors, all my athletes, by the way. So you get access to all of that. You get access to me as your coach free for 7 days where I can help you with whatever it is, answer your questions, show you how to train, show you what exercises are best for you. Do all of that free for 7 days and you don't have to pay anything. It's just a give back experience I give to the bodybuilding world, to all you competitors out there that support me, my content and the things that I do because I've been able to make a living out of this, and I want to give back to you. That's why I do it. You're not going to get charged. You never get charged. There's no obligation to sign up or do anything else. It's a free experience that you get to gain insight into. So strongly suggest you do that. Go to that link. Go to that. Type it in right now. You can do it while I'm yapping, and before you know it, we'll be getting things set. All right. So now I want to look at fourth and fifth in this group here. And this, again, we start to see a little bit of similarities, but also some clear differences. So we have Amanda here and then Wendy over here. So this is our fourth and our fifth in this group. We will leave Yume in the middle, and that's just going to be to, give you further insight into what's really showing in these classes. So very good shape from both here. I would say that Amanda has, good overall shoulders, tapers in at the waist well, lower body wise, the development's clearly here, but she does look to be a bit, asymmetrical, maybe a little bit lower body dominant, just a tad, and also a bit leaner. So, she's got a little bit more of that feathering going on in the quad, separations in different points that we're not seeing on some of the other athletes. So she's leaner, she's a little bit asymmetrical lower body wise, and placing fourth here. And, when we start to look at first compared to fourth, you start to see there's a very big difference in where Bikini is really heading right now, right? Like the bigger looks, the more muscular looks, the leaner looks, they're not winning these competitions. And we're seeing that at every level. I'm seeing that at NPC level. I'm seeing that for novice competitors. I'm seeing that for true novice competitors. And keep in mind, I coach athletes all around the world myself. So I can tell you just based on what I'm seeing, this is a great time for Bikini. If you were looking at Bikini the last, year or two, and you're like, it's getting too much. It's too much muscle, too big, too lean. Okay, well, things are changing. Times are changing, and it's a good thing right now. So definitely be keeping an eye on it. Get yourself on stage, all right? Get yourself on stage. Wendy over here. Good overall upper body shape, tapers in, lower body wise, everything's here. Very lean, probably the leanest in the group. You start to really see that in the quads, and overall, she's just got tons of lines. Also very big in these shoulders, pretty dominant up top. Glutes do not match really well with the quads and the hamstrings here, so one of those muscle groups you want to improve that balance on, but overall very lean. So again, clear message here, leaner, bigger athletes placing lower in these call-outs, and this is again where we get to see just a lot of the same things I already said. Amanda, overall good shape, everything's here, but lower body wise, it's just not hitting the exact same way. It's too dominant, too much quad going on here. Overall, it's just throwing that balance, and also not as much of a 3D effect from the glutes, specifically the upper glute there, which is a main note, especially for pro competitors, but competitors in general. And if we look over here, Wendy, very big, almost her upper body starts to look like it's given, figure-esque type of vibes even, to be honest. And lower body, super lean, super lean, very lean tie-in. So bigger athletes, leaner athletes placing lower in these groups compared to athletes that are showcasing, a more compact muscle structure and fullness with, shape. So that's really where your bikini look is going 2025. I'm telling you, I've been doing these reviews now straight through here. Like I've been reviewing every comp since Olympia even. And, basically we're seeing very clear messages. Good time to be a competitor. Get yourself on stage. If you've had cold feet about it, you're like, I don't know. Well, go do my free trial. I'll help convince you, because now is the time to go for these goals. All right. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Coach Rye is out.